Good day everyone. Once we have installed and assembled all the hardware components of the drone, it's time now to prepare the software components of the drone. It is equally important to keep the software component of your drone because they are the driving components of your drone. Let's look at what we have to do on the software side to get our drone ready. Firmware is the software at the heart of your drone. It controls everything from flight inputs to battery management and everything in between. So having an up-to-date firmware is important if you are to operate your drone safely and reliably. Just like a computer runs Windows, OS X or Linux, a flight controller runs different software versions. It's always best when setting up a new flight controller to update to the latest release of your firmware of choice. This is often done from the main screen of the configurator. It is important that you always have the latest version of the firmware, always. But the reality is that firmware is so important to the safe operation of your drone that it would be negligent of a manufacturer to allow an old or outdated drone to keep flying. Updates often fix bugs in flight stabilization algorithms and battery management, which could easily cause your drone to fall out of the sky. Some manufacturers also include updates to restricted flying in their firmware, which can prevent you from flying too close to airports or other no-fly zones. So installing the update could prevent you from getting into trouble and receiving a large fine. When you wire up to your flight controller, you may have connected many things to one of the UART connections. Your receiver will be connected to one of these that has been labeled as S-bus. We need to set up these ports in order to tell the flight control that what is it communicating with. So make sure you correctly set up all your peripherals that are connected to the flight controller. We want to tell the drone which angle with mounted the flight controller at, which receiver we are using, how to talk to the ESCs and set various limits such as minimum throttle. This tells mainly about the configuration of the drone and what type of drone you are using. Setting up the flight modes, these modes needs to be allocated to switches on your transmitter. For a beginner, I would recommend setting an arm switch and then a separate switch for auto level and acrobatic mode. Additional switches can be used for features such as buzzers. Rates determine how sensitive your transmitter sticks are. For a beginner, I would recommend leaving them at default and adjusting as you grow confidence. These steps should complete the software configuration of the drone. Students are requested to read even further about the details also. Now that we have built the drone, it is important now that we test it in detail. In our next chapter, we will look at the testing of our drone. Thank you very much.